That's going to be real loud. We'll play that in.
Putin's lullaby?
Yeah, I know. Right, here we go.
What you got there? Is that from getting shot?
It was covering the logo on my jacket.
Welcome to Not Done Yet, where cancer slayers come to sharpen their edge. Join Robbie and Lisa as they help people realize you are not done yet. Today, we have special guest Laura Goldman-Weinberg. The list is far too long for me to say exactly what she does, but she's from my neck of the woods in Iowa, so we love her. So let's do this because we're not done yet.
Hello, Cancer Slayers. Welcome back to another week of our show. It's great to have you. Ken, thank you for that wonderful introduction, full of energy as always. And I look forward to the rest of our show.
Yes.
Robbie, how are you?
Hi there.
How are you feeling?
I think you got an idea how I'm doing today. I am fired up and pissed off as cancer like I am every other day.
Yes, you are.
We talked about this, and I tried many different ways to say that, but none of them cover the way I really feel about it, and that's really how I feel about it.
Well, it just might be a little more crude.
Cancer can be crude.
That's true. So
you
you
even gave him lemon cookies. So.
That's right.
Try to sweeten them up a little bit.
Didn't work.
I did.
I was thinking one of the things that cancer does is take people from us, but it doesn't just take that person. It takes all of their capabilities and their talents and passion with them. And having people on this show like Laura lets everybody know that sometimes cancer doesn't win. And this is things that it didn't take from those that are living and all the things that we do and that it inspires us to do and to continue to be better at. So I'm focusing on what cancer didn't take away today. And our guest, Laura Goldman. Hi, Laura. How you doing today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Laura and I met on a webinar that we were doing for the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, a laughter therapy session. And her and I worked together on that. And actually, I was doing it, and my service was so crappy at home that I was off the screen in no time. Thank God, Laura was in the audience. She's had the training that I had. She picked it up, and she finished the show for us. And I was just so thankful. And then once we got together and started talking, we've been doing several of these laughter therapies together, Laura and I. You can see why I love being with her.
Look at her. For those of you who can't see her, she's wearing this amazing clown hat with all these colors and little hoses coming off, and it is glowing with lights and a big red nose. It is fantastic.
There's
Love
nothing
it.
wrong with big red noses.
Nope, nothing. Oh, shoot.
Robbie have red noses too.
Yay.
We're going to be a little silly. Look at Kentsville left
I didn't
out.
have a new one to give Kent, but I got one coming for you.
Thanks for not recycling your nose.
Yeah, no
your
problem.
nose now.
Some things you can't.
Here, I just sneezed. Want to use mine?
Obviously, laughter is one of the. I always talk about how important laughter is, but Laura does a few other things besides just laughter. That was the original reason that her and I got together. But Laura is also a breast cancer survivor, a teacher. She's a lyricist, a composer, an abstract painter, a self-published author of 9 books and booklets, a certified laughter yoga leader, actually, and a minister of religious science. So this woman is busy, busy, busy. And again, look what cancer tried to stop but couldn't. And we're just so thankful that you're here today to share with us all that you do. If you're seeing us on the screen, look at Laura. Behind Laura is a picture of hers. She's an abstract painter, and she has a beautiful picture up there behind her that she did.
We just lost Laura. Oh, there she is.
To give you an idea, and she has several websites that we're going to put up during the show that shows her artwork and her music. and her books. So there's plenty to learn from this lady, and we're just so thankful to have you on here. Appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't like to talk a lot. You know, we've learned that every one of us who's been touched by cancer has gone through the bad part of it and all the stuff that you got to go through. And we don't want to focus on that. We all know that story pretty much, or it may be our own, but we know where that goes. And we're trying to focus more on the positivity after cancer.
Yes.
And
I would like to say, Robbie,
yes,
I just want people to know, or is listening or watching, that I know what it's like to go through the treatments. I understand. I've been there, and it was really, really rough.
Yep.
But it was afterwards that really made a change for me.
Yeah.
You know, you hear so much where people say, oh, cancer changed my life. And going through it, I thought, well, there's no way that's going to happen to me, you know, because it was just really, really hard. And for those that can see me, I have really long, fluffy hair. And that, like Lisa was saying, it's my celebration of life, because I was the first one to go bald in the family. You know? It's my celebration of life now to have my hair grow long. But after I went through the treatment was when I had to think, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? You know, I've been given a second chance, and I didn't really know. And all the things that Robbie was mentioning that I started doing afterwards. I mean, I always painted ever since I was a little girl. I did art, and I had written some songs beforehand and started recording them, but it got waylaid because of finances, and that was a long time ago. But after treatment, I started giving myself permission, and that's what I want to say. I gave myself permission to just explore. I looked in the newspaper and I saw there were some art classes going on, some writing classes going on. So I just took them. I didn't know what I wanted to do with any of it. And one of my art teachers, she was the first one to give me an exhibit. I showed her some of the paintings I had done from years and years ago. And she goes, I want to exhibit these. And she did. And that was the first time I had an exhibit, and I've been exhibiting ever since. And I just get so surprised that people like my stuff, you know, doing it for myself. As an artist, you just have to express, you know, any artist knows what it's like. It's just something you just do. It just happens.
How many paintings have you done, you know?
Oh, 100, 200, I don't know.
Kidding.
Wow.
Probably.
What's the largest painting you've ever done? I'm curious about that.
This is a big one. I'm sorry, I don't really remember the dimensions, but the 40 by 40, 30 by 40 inches.
Wow, that's
around there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I have one on the wall over there that's 40 by 40 or something.
Laura has a great series of angels abstract painting.
We can look, Kent, if you want, we can look at my art site while we're chatting.
Yeah, sure.
Art.
I think it'd be a great idea. Explain what's it like to be an abstract artist as opposed to more of a realist.
Yeah, you know, I went to college for elementary education with a specialty in early childhood. And I took an art education class, which is required for elementary education. And I fell in love with it. And I really wanted to major in it, but it didn't work out for many reasons. But I'm really glad I didn't, because I might have felt more restricted to make things look, the one that's LauraWeinberg.com. This is one we can glance at for a minute. I do teach workshops. This is my Creativity with Laura. That's, I teach different workshops, but LauraWeinberg.com is my art shop. I think it says Laura Goldman-Weinberg Art Shop on the
There we go.
Let's see. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, this is it. So we can scroll down a little bit, and there's a slideshow on the right there. We can just look at some of these images as they flash through a little bit. Some of them have a little bit more spiritual bent. Some are just straight abstract. See, that one is
that was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
This one too.
Right.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So as we're admiring this, the hundreds of thousands of people listening on the radio
Oh, right.
are just hearing us go, oh,
Go to the site. We're enjoying the heck out of this. You should be too.
Okay. So speaking of the art, so it would be more restricting for me to have to make something look like something. So I was kind of grateful later that I didn't take certain kinds of art classes. I'm not saying they're bad, because it's really good to learn techniques and everything, but it's important to find your own style. So it's okay now. We can, if you want to go to another tab, like the abstract tab at top, Kent, you can go to that tab, and then we can close that site out.
And while we're doing that, just to reiterate, it's for her art. It's www.LauraWeinberg.com. LauraWeinberg.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you paint with? What kind of, I don't know if it's medium that you,
Acrylic. Yeah, I use acrylic. Some of the paintings have been on just canvas fabric that I paint. And so then the moisture of the paint, or if it's watery, it seeps through the fabric, and then I get it stretched later. But lately I've been using primed canvas. So, you know, the paint sits on top. Some of them are more three-dimensional. Some are mixed media, like a collage. I like to glue things on and then paint on top of it.
Creativity. I love it.
When I look at a canvas, it's one of the joys of my life is to see a blank canvas, because it's a field of all possibilities. I can do absolutely anything to it. And then I look at my paints and I just see what color I feel like, and I start splashing around. If I'm doing an abstract piece that doesn't have any preconceived notion of what I want to do. There are some, obviously, that I do know what I want to do, like some of the spiritual arts with the angels and things like that.
I love that I'm seeing structure in an abstract painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a difference in just throwing paint on there and, you know,
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
abstract.
Yeah.
I actually get something when I look at your paintings. There's, even though it's abstract, there still seems to be structure there.
Yeah.
And, you know, so organization in a weird way. Abstract, but you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
When I was a child, I would think it was first grade, I won a first place blue ribbon for color balancing.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I think it was just part of my nature to just, because you can see in the paintings, it's still something that just shows through.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Color. It's just a natural talent that came into this body.
Well, yeah, but that you pursued it, and like you said, you didn't put restrictions on yourself. You didn't worry about what anybody else thought. You just did what felt right to you, and that's what we're all trying to encourage people to do. We all have passion. We all have talent. Put those two together, and you'd be amazed how many other people's lives you can touch. Mm-hmm. Every one of us.
Well, the nice thing about art is it's your own interpretation.
Yes.
You know, the artist may have meant it to be this way in their vision, but when you look at it, you can say, well, I see this.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great.
So, you know, and we're looking now at a little bit of the spiritual art. And the amazing thing is, it's like playing the piano. Somebody can sit down the piano and push keys and make beautiful music. I push keys and it's
chaos.
Yeah. People are like, would you please get off the piano?
That's what I mean.
Taking a look at her art, I'm like, I have trouble with stick figures, and I'm in awe in just the colors, you know, and the spiritual piece of this at www.LauraWeinberg, WEINBERG.com is just, you get it. Like you said.
That's what I said.
You know,
Yeah.
Look at
just
this
like,
abstract
Exactly.
and you get it, what she's doing.
I mean, this one is cool. Angel of
Yeah.
Paradise.
Yeah, that's
That was one of
Robbie's
my
favorite.
Yeah.
It's a picture of an angel barely,
And-
like just subtly with all these, what appears in my vision, flowers.
Yeah.
And it just, the way the colors are displayed on the acrylic, it's just
Beautiful.
simplistic and beautiful.
Also, if you'll notice, she is a professional artist because she actually sells her paintings. If you look,
I guess that makes you professional. If she's like,
if you're getting paid to do it, you're professional.
Infinity.
And there's prices on here if anybody is interested in purchasing these. you can go on that site and get in touch with her. I'm
Yeah.
sure she'd be more than happy to.
There's contact form for information.
Beautiful.
See, now I can look at this and say it's Van Gogh-ish, but her prices are not quite Van Gogh.
Much more reasonable.
I can raise them, you know.
Don't go cutting ears.
I
or
think it's
nothing. Just
equally
stay
as
who
good.
you
I think
are.
it's equally as good as far as I know. Right? I don't know anything about art.
Just beautiful.
Wow,
That is
is gorgeous.
And now, do you teach? Do you teach painting?
Well, I teach creative art and creative writing workshops to children and adults. So I don't teach how to draw or paint something that looks like something else, but I hope to inspire the student, be it the child or adult, to express themselves. Like the class that I had taken of the teacher that showed my first exhibit, she showed various artist masters. And then everybody did what they wanted to do. It was just shown for inspiration, and everybody did something different. And I think that's so wonderful because we're all so special and unique just as we are. And to be able to express ourselves through art is such a gift. And everybody can do it.
A lot of those classes where you like the wine and painting classes, they show you one picture and everybody has to do that picture.
Right.
I like your idea of show a picture, but everybody else, but do something that feels right to you.
Yeah.
So in your creativity, Laura, do you wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh my gosh, going home, and you sit down and paint, or do you just sit down and whatever comes out of the tip of that brush is what happens?
Or you have set times that you do this?
Okay, those are a lot of questions. Number one, I work. And so, and busy doing other things in the evening. So mostly I do my art on the weekends and mostly on Saturdays because Sundays I tutor and I have other kinds of things that I do. So, but sometimes on Sunday I can do my art. A lot of times if I'm doing straight abstract, I'll just go look at the canvas and do whatever comes at the moment. But sometimes I have these visions, like the spiritual ones. When I've gone to different religious services before the pandemic, different visions would come to me. And then I wanted to see if I could put them down on canvas. So some of the spiritual art was for some visions that I had. So that was kind of happening. I do love flowers. So, but these were just experiments, just, putting a layer down in the background and building on the front. Now that's
crazy. They're so beautiful.
You're like, well, these are just experiments. We're like,
just whip something up.
From looking at them.
The multi-pink blossoms just won first place in our Iowa regional show. So it's gone to state, that pink one right there.
Right there?
Cool.
Then it should be worth more than $130 now.
That's right.
I got to raise the price.
Exactly. This is a gold medal winner. Or blue ribbon, excuse me.
So it gets to go to state, which is at the end of the month. So that'll be fun. So that's nice.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. Yes, thank you. Well, and then also I put a lot of my art on the fronts of my books. If there is any art on my books, it's my art. Some books are just plain. And some have pictures of my art on it.
I've got a question for you. I know a lot of people are sitting here watching and they're like, boy, I would love to do that, but I'm so exhausted from either the cancer or the treatment that I just can't bring myself to do it. Now I feel guilty because I'm not doing it. Did you find time to do this still during treatment and while you actively had cancer?
I don't think so. No, I was totally exhausted.
Yeah, no, so I don't want people feeling bad because they see you doing this and go, but I'll never be able to do that.
This is later. This was much later after I got back to my life. Going through treatment was kind of like being in this bubble. Yep. All I could do was go for treatment. And I traveled for treatment. I live in Iowa and I went to Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I had to fly. Wow. I flew on a Sunday, had treatment Monday, came back Tuesday for 3 months. I'm every single week. And then in the beginning, I went every 2 weeks, and then I had surgery and then, more treatment and then radiation. I stayed there for 6 weeks. And so it was a lot. I mean, all I could do was you know, that. And
Yeah.
so,
Get
no,
through the
I
day.
didn't do any of my creativity
Yeah.
until later.
Yeah.
No.
Whew.
You said with your journaling, you kind of started that at an early age.
Yes,
You
I
just kind of
did.
had some of this kind of laying around, all this journaling you've been doing for years, and decided to kind of get it into a collection.
Yes. Yeah, so I did a lot of books here. I've got a lot of my books sitting here. And that's at lauragoldmanweinberg.com. We can call it up, I guess, if we want to. I journaled my feelings and my emotions and all different kinds of things growing up. I'd say early teens or even preteens, I started writing and journaled ever since. And then somewhere along the line, this energy came through to say, just write for the world. You have some messages to give, right for the world. So my I am messages came through. And I have a few books from I am, which I consider from the higher self, from some kind of spiritual source, not separate from me, but deep within me, started flowing. And
Here we go.
oh, he's got that up. Okay, cool. So I was just going to read like one little section so you have an idea.
Yes, please.
Let's see.
There we go.
Love is all there is. Love is hidden in everything. You don't always see it, even in times of challenge, in times of heartache and heartbreak. There is love. Love can hide in the sorrow and misery, but with the right angle, the right eye, it will reveal itself. Love is what you seek. Open your eyes, open your heart and soul, and find the love that is you. So that's in Love Messages from the I Am. It has a lot of different snippets like that, just for inspiration. You can have by your bedside, you know, just for inspiration.
Well, I don't think maybe we don't love each other ourselves well enough in general. But then when you get sick, it's even harder because you're so wiped out. You're so tired. Everyone's taking care of you. It's hard to feel that.
There's so little of you left.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And to hear that is very nice. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I want people to know that there's passion and talent inside of you, and just because cancer has hit you, in no way at all means that that's over. Like I always say, just because somebody told you had cancer doesn't mean your days of greatness are over. It means they're just starting.
That's right.
You know, and I want people to look at it that way.
Definitely.
Right. And this book was Beauty in the Moment, Snippets of Gratitude in Everyday Life. You know, just recently I found this so fascinating. We know the value of gratitude journaling, but it's been scientifically proven that gratitude journaling reduces the inflammatory biomarkers, meaning it reduces inflammation in the body. Yep. Isn't that something? So this book that is up on the screen that some of you might not be able to see, Beauty in the Moment, Snippets of Gratitude in Everyday Life. And that's exactly what it is, just short little snippets. Again, something to have by your bedside. If you're not feeling grateful, you can read something in the book to help you bring that about, just to remind you, simple little things in life.
I believe just what you're saying, that there's passion and talent in every one of us. Sometimes it takes us a lifetime to find it. Yeah. Others of us are lucky enough to know what it is. There's nothing wrong with knowing what you're good at. How can you be great at something if you can't recognize what you're good at? It's not having an ego or anything. It's just what it is. If this is in me and it wants to come out, then I have to work at it to make it come out. And I think sometimes people are afraid, like you said, you didn't put any restrictions on yourself.
Yes.
You let yourself go and let it come out. And that to me is a lot of times what stops people, is that first moment of being afraid to let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and don't worry about what people think. Just it needs to get out of us. And then we amaze ourselves when people go, "Oh, that was really cool. I really like that." Or, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's nothing wrong. You know what you're good at, and you keep continuously try to get better at it.
Yeah. And for me, it was also, I would pray to God to say, use me. You know, how can you use me to inspire and uplift other people?
Sure.
and different things would come, and I just kind of go with it. And one of the services I had gone to, in the prayer book, it says something about being restless until you find your rest in me, and God within you.
Yep.
And that changed my life when I realized I was restless and I needed to find that source within myself. It's very beautiful, and we can all be servants, and we all are servants. And if you feel you don't have a talent, and if you don't have to have a talent, just smiling at somebody, giving somebody a compliment, just being kind.
That's huge.
It's very huge. We're here to bring peace to the world and bring peace to ourselves and spread the love and joy. And anybody can do that. You don't have to paint, and you don't have to sing, and you don't have to, do anything special. Just be you. That's our nature.
Yep.
As spiritual human beings, it's our nature to be happy and joyful and loving.
I love how you've given yourself permission to explore and do different things, because I'm very analytical. So anything art is really hard for me. And my girlfriend took me, to one of those wine and sip things. And that's how I started to do art. Now, well, it's funny how when you drink a little, it makes it a little bit.
Looks wonderful.
It does. And then you wake up the next morning and go, what was I thinking?
I'm going to do this for a living. Oh, wait a minute.
That's right. But no, really, that's what it comes down to, is giving your permission to step out of your comfort zone, which, speaking from experience, is very hard for me. And now going through this journey, and to listen to someone such as yourself and to see your work and go, she just let herself do it. Yes. That is just amazing. And your journaling then led to all of these other things that you're now sharing with people. It's just amazing. And this show is more therapeutic for me today than I am being an interviewer. So Laura, thank you.
Thank you. I never know how it comes across.
Oh my gosh. I am amazed.
So
thank you.
Very inspirational.
Laura, you were diagnosed in what year?
2005.
2005. And so up till 2005, were you doing the same thing? Were you painting and writing books, or were you a truck driver? What was it exactly?
A dancer?
I was not a truck driver.
Although I can drive a truck.
I've always painted. So yeah, and tissue paper collage and all different kinds of things. But just for me, never, out to showing anybody anything. The songwriting I did do, which we can see some of the CDs in a minute, which I did finish after. Actually, one CD might have been out before, I'm not sure, but the other one just came out this year. Writing, as I said, I always did journaling, but never self-published anything until afterwards.
Well, you are a teacher by profession.
I am a teacher by profession, but when I was in Ohio, I went to school in Ohio and lived there. They needed teachers desperately when I went into school. 4 years later, I came out. They didn't need it. They had a surplus. They had on applications. You couldn't even apply. So I looked in the want ads because I needed a job. And it had 2 lines that said paste up layout artist. And I said, I have no idea what it is, but it says artist. I like it. So, so I went, and it was an advertising company. And they said, well, we just hired somebody, but we're not sure how they're going to work out. Come back in a week. And some people might not have, but I didn't have anything in a week. So I went back, and they said, well, they're not working out. So we'll hire you and we'll train you from scratch. So I did T-squares. I don't know if anybody knows this because computers do everything now, but having the T-square and X-Acto knife and rubber cement and lining up the ads. And then later, when I moved to Illinois, I worked for Scott Forsman. I don't know if they're still there.
Yep.
There's an educational
Grove, Illinois.
book company, and laid out their books. And interestingly enough, after our son was born, he actually had in school one of the books that I worked on, which was pretty cool.
Oh, the world gets smaller the older we get.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
So that was kind of my career. And then we moved to Iowa, and I was office manager, and then kind of have been office manager. Now I work for Art of Living Foundation, which is a beautiful foundation. Maybe we can call up that site for people. I wanted to mention this to all our listeners. It teaches breath techniques and meditation for stress release to calm the mind down. And I think we've got artofliving.org as a site that we can pop up real fast, just for a moment. So you can go to artofliving.org if you're interested. I have been doing breath work and meditation work for decades. It is a lifesaver. It really, really helps, reduce the stress and get through life much more calmly, much more harmoniously. So I just wanted to put that out there. I am what's called a Know Your Child workshop teacher, which teaches a workshop to parents of children 8 to 12, how to create more harmonious relationship, understand children of that age a little bit better.
We all need that.
Yeah.
Little brats sometimes.
Breathe.
I'm just kidding.
Just breathe.
Just breathe.
There was a great. Go ahead. Sorry, Laura.
We can close the website, but I just wanted people to be aware of that. And they also offer workshops for children called Sky Kids and Sky Teens, different ages, and for adults also. And I'll be taking training to be teaching the breathing courses too. So that's coming up for me. So I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I have nothing else to do.
Running out of things to do, huh?
What's one more?
Yeah.
We got an extra day.
I love that because in our laughter therapy, a big part of that is breathing exercises.
Yes.
And a lot of people we say laughter sessions or therapy or laughter yoga. And what do I do? Just tell jokes all the time? And it's nothing like that at all. It's actually just using laughter as the medium for breathing exercises.
Right.
To learn how to deal with, these things and slow yourself down and not get so stressed and anxious from dealing with cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so also while we're talking about that, all of you listeners and everything, if you ever want to laugh, I have pre-recorded Laughter with Laura YouTube videos. So if you ever just want to laugh, feel free to go to Laughter with Laura, Laura, on either Facebook or YouTube. And just laugh with me.
How long does that run?
How long is it? Oh, so each little session's maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most laughter sessions run 20 to 30 minutes tops, don't they? Is that about what you do on yours? Your timing?
I do a live Zoom the first Wednesday of the month, and we do it for 30 minutes.
Yeah. People are amazed at how much exercise they got by just sitting there and breathing and laughing, and how different they feel. We always ask people, take a self-evaluation of how you're feeling right now, 1 to 7.
Like before and after, or after?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I'm not feeling too good. I'm hurting. I'm blah, 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 And then after that, we're asking them, they're 6, 7 before. Now I'm a 2 or 3. And it's amazing how something as simple as that can boost the feeling of your body, the positivity, the happiness, the well-being is just amazing. I was telling you before, the last one that you and I did for the hospital, before that, I was, it was a rough month or so from Tom passing and everything. And I had found out a couple of other friends of mine had been recently diagnosed, and it just was in a place that I'm not used to being at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being depressed. I don't like being unhappy. And we did that laughter at the hospital, and it just turned everything around after that session. And ever since then, I've felt better and felt like myself again, and let go of that negativity and that depression that was seeping in from all of that. And that's another reason why I love so much having you on here and telling us about this and how important laughter is to every one of us.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things we're born knowing how to do.
Right.
We don't have to learn. I just had a new grandbaby born Friday, and I swear yesterday my son sent me a video and that baby was smiling. He's like, "Look, Dad, she's smiling. She's smiling."
Oh, my mom would say, "Oh, Mom, sweetheart, that's just gas."
It was plain gas because she was enjoying the gas. So,
That's right.
And I always would say, "I don't care. They're smiling."
and I
Yes.
believe,
Don't care.
that they within
That's right.
days they even start giggling and laughing. And so, like I said, it's something we almost know from birth. So it must be an extremely important mechanism if we don't even have to learn it. Everything else we have to learn, walk, talk, but that we don't have to. So
Laura, you had mentioned, I hate to interrupt, but I really don't. But
I'm glad you did.
He does all the time. It's fine.
So you've had this creative bug and this ability your whole life. And you had said earlier that when you were slaying cancer, you were just exhausted.
Yes.
How frustrating was that for you to not have that creative juice, and how mad at God were you at that time?
Oh, I wasn't mad at God, but I was frustrated, and I really felt like I was just trying to hold it together. You know, the chemicals floating through my body from chemo was really hard. I'd cry at the drop of a hat. And when I was taught, we have pastoral care at the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and they say that that's part of chemo. They see big, giant men, the truck driver kind of like break down crying because of it affects your hormones so much, you know. Just trying to hold it together. And then I start feeling better at the end of the week and have to go again. It was tough. It was really, really tough. I had no thought whatsoever to do anything creative. I was happy to have a day where I just felt more like myself again.
Right.
That was kind of rare because the treatment, they had to treat me very aggressively.
Well, on those good days, did you feel like doing anything, or were you just happy and just did whatever? Didn't have to be art or journaling or anything?
Well, by the time I felt good, I had to go again. So,
okay, yeah, that's true. Wow.
Every time just as you start to feel good those last few days, back to the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twilight Zone. That's exactly. When I said the bubble, I meant like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
How long did it take before you felt like, okay, I can start doing this again? These thoughts are now starting to come back to me. I got to start leaving some of this behind me, this cancer stuff.
Geez. I don't really remember because it has been quite some time. It took some time for me to get my blood work back to normal. My thyroid was out of whack really bad. It took me 3 years to get my thyroid balanced with proper medication. But I'm sure I did things anyway in between that time. Probably a few months starting to get back to normal. But it took quite a long time to feel like I had a life again.
It's amazing how, people look at you, go, well, you're done with your treatments and everything, and you're starting to look pretty good on the outside. Let's get on with life. And they don't see the inside.
No.
I always say the outside looks great. They don't see the torn up inside.
Yeah. And all the emotions too, you know, I mean, I had to look at, to talking honestly and vulnerably to people here. So, that I'm here with you and knowing what it's like. I mean, I had issues to deal with. And so I started some therapies and, and I wear a compression sleeve 24 hours. I wear a compression sleeve every day for lymphedema on my arm, and I wear a nighttime compression sleeve. Been wearing it for years, and I hope I continue to wear it for many, many decades.
That's right.
So it's just, it's just one of those things that I had to face and I had to deal with. Thank goodness the lymphedema is not really bad, but I do lie in a lymph machine every couple of days. I have to do that for the rest of my life. And so I thought, oh, this is going to curtail a lot of my activities. But I have limitations to my physiology, but I do what I can. And I'm blessed to be here to do what I can. And everything I do is I just want to inspire and uplift other people. So,
well, this is really a great start between your art and your books and your music. That's great. I mean, that's just fantastic. Not only for yourself, which is therapeutic, but now you're sharing with others. Like you said, the little book by your nightstand, and you can just pull it out and remind yourself, okay, I love myself.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So that's great. Thank you for sharing.
Let's talk a little bit about the laughter.
Okay.
And how you got started involved with the laughter.
Okay, let's see. As I mentioned, I went to Cancer Treatment Centers of America. for those of you who are not aware of it, they treat the cancer more holistically if you wish to choose that. So it's conventional treatment and holistic.
Yep.
And they have many activities, singing and laughter clubs and arts and crafts. And each center has their own, depending what kind of a leader or facilitator they have that can run the different classes. And that was the part I loved. I mean, the treatment was rough, but I loved all the different events and activities I could join into. And where I went, they had a laughter club. I think it was more watching something that made you laugh. And that was good. But then a couple of years after my treatment, my husband was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So he went to Midwestern CTCA in Zion, Illinois. And when we had a tour of the facility, there was an empty room. So Robbie's got his own little story with this. It's the same room, I'm sure. But it was an empty room, and they said, we have activities here. And I said, what kind of activities? We have karaoke and we have laughter club. And I said, oh, what's laughter club? And I don't know what they said. And just something in me, this is how things happen with me. I never know. Something inside me just says, oh, I want to teach that. Of course, I have no idea what it is. I never took a laughter session in my life, but I decided I wanted to teach it. So CTCA was offering a teacher training through Steve Wilson's World Laughter Tour, which I took a couple of years after Robbie had taken his training. And I really liked that. And then a lady came through our town. I live in Iowa, came through our town training for Laughter Yoga International with Dr. Madan Kataria as the founder from India. And so I took that training. So I'm a certified laughter leader for both organizations. And I combine the best of both worlds, so to say.
Yep.
Okay, when I do yoga, I can barely breathe, much alone laugh.
This is not yoga. Okay, it says laughter yoga. But you don't get into positions.
There's no pretzel positions.
Okay, good. Is it just laying on the ground? Because then I can do that.
Yeah. It says laughter yoga because we combine laughter exercises with deep breathing and deep relaxation of yoga. So that's where the yoga part comes in, with the deep breathing and deep relaxation. But we don't make you twist. We don't make you put your leg over your head or anything.
You actually feel wonderful after it.
I love that.
We could quickly just kind of go through what we do. We don't have to do the exercises or anything, because I want to do that on another show. I actually want to do another show where we do a laughter session.
Yeah.
But I wanted this one to be about you and what all that you're doing. So briefly, just say what do we do when we do a laughter session? How do we, we have the opening and then.
Yeah, we have a greeting laughter and we teach some laughter chants, and then we do a few laughter exercises and then do some deep breathing to center again, do a couple laughter exercises and do some deep breathing. And then afterwards we do a relaxation that I guide you through, or Robbie would guide you through. And it's very simple. I mean, I think I would like to share one thing with everybody, because as you're going through cancer, you might need something that would reduce the stress. So this one I'm going to show you, and I'll describe it for those who can't see visually. It engages the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the vagus nerve. So that's a calming mechanism in the body. So it's called hearty laughter, where you have your arms go up over your head.
And we're all doing this, by the way.
You lift your chin up a little, your head's going back a little, your mouth opens, and you laugh. Bring your arms down again.
This is for Hawk. I should be taking pictures.
You lift your chin, you open your mouth, your head's back a little.
Kids over there looking at us like we're crazy.
See, now at 2 a.m, this would not be good. My dog would look at me like, shut up, Mom, I'm trying to sleep here.
But wait, even if you happen to be nervous about something, you could even go into the restroom and do it without laughing out loud. You could just go. You could do the position and you could laugh.
She's still laughing so hard she has no air. I love it.
Lisa jumped right in. She didn't have any reservation at all. She's looking for that laughter.
I am.
Yeah.
Isn't a rough week. So like,
See how
yeah,
much
this
you're
is
smiling
good.
now,
I
how-
am.
Here's the crazy thing for everybody.
It engages the pre-verbal childlike playfulness in us. So it brings about that childlike playfulness that we all have.
Yes.
And listen, if you're driving, don't do this exercise right
Keep
now.
your hands on the wheel.
Right.
Put the nose on when you're driving.
However,
Believe me, that'll get people laughing.
That will get.
I don't care who you are. If you're sitting there, what goes through your mind first is, oh God, this is, and then you're belly laughing by the end of it, and then you're laughing because you're laughing and she's laughing
It's
harder.
extremely contagious.
Exactly. Well, my head was up. I couldn't see you guys.
Right.
Just saying.
She just got going. I'm like, oh man, she's ready for this.
That was the amazing thing, was that it just you
How quickly that
Yeah.
comes out in a person.
Yeah,
Because
great.
we
I
all,
love
like you
it.
said, the childlike, we ask people, okay, just pretend you're a child again and do the fun things. You know, one of the things I did, one of the sessions at a nursing home that my mother was at, a lot of people there in wheelchairs and things like that. And I said, well, what did you do when you were young and you went on a date? They said, oh, we did rowboat rides. And I said, well, what'd you do? She goes, we'd splash each other. I said, okay, let's get in our boats. And we all sit in our boats and we're paddling around. They're all sitting in their wheelchairs and we're start splashing each other. They're just laughing and cracking up and haven't done that in years probably.
Use your imagination.
You
That was
you
great.
become a child again and you let that come out of you.
Yeah.
And that wonder
awesome.
that you had when you were a child, when you would just laugh about everything. And just that laughter is just so overwhelming. Just you saw how much better you feel. I'll ask you right now, when you came in, how'd you feel as opposed to just that short session of laughing that you just did?
It did. It released some tension. It really
It's
did.
amazing.
Yeah.
It really,
Yeah.
really
and
did.
there's science, there's actual science. You can talk about this if you want, about how important laughter is to our body.
Yeah, it releases endorphins and boosts the immune system. I mean, it's just so much wonderful things. So, yeah, we'll do a laughter session for everybody.
Oh my gosh, we totally have to do that. I love
an
it.
hour of just everybody laughing.
But you have to wear pink again.
Yeah.
That's kid sitting over there trying not
That's
to
not
laugh.
funny.
And he's looking at us, and all of a sudden he's cracking up.
I did it. Then I started laughing hard. I'm like, are they really laughing hard? And then y'all, and I started laughing harder because you guys were laughing.
So it's just
truly.
contagious, even if you're not doing it.
Yeah.
It is.
Just to see us if you're, well,
That's why I
on the
loved
radio
about
you
it.
can't, but
She said I had a story. She was right. When I was in an elevator coming off after therapy, and me and a lady in a wheelchair next to me, the door opens and it's that room, and it says laughter therapy, 11:30. And I look at my watch, it's 11:25. I said, I don't know what's so funny about this, but I'll bite. How about you? She goes, why not? So we go in there, and in 10, 15 minutes, I'm standing up, laughing, doing all the exercises. She's sitting in her wheelchair, laughing, and we get done. We're like, man, I feel fantastic.
yeah.
She goes, I haven't felt this good in a long time. That's what inspired me to want to know, how do you do this? Like Laura said, and then they offered the training for it. So I did it in the same way that Laura did. I didn't do the yoga, but she did the World Laughter Tour with Steve Wilson. He's a child psychologist. And just like her yoga, he had a friend in India, a doctor. He went over there to visit, and they used it in the schools in the morning. A lot of workplaces use laughter therapy in the morning because it wakes you up, and the kids were much more attentive. And it's just a great thing that finally the United States is getting used to doing, laughing a little bit more. We kind of take things a little too serious here in this country. We all need to
That's
laugh
an
a little more.
understatement.
Yeah.
Especially during this pandemic, there's, people are binge watching television or not watching television, and doing something funny is good. And I've even told my husband, we need to find some humor in this house because
Yes.
I love the things that we're watching, but just to get some good belly laughs in, it just feels really good.
And the thing
Really
of it
does.
is, the brain doesn't know the difference between what we call simulated laughter or stimulated laughter. Simulated is where I fake it. He. We teach people the three basic sounds are he, ha, 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 and ho, ho, ho. That's what you can kind of start with. And then your own laugh is your own laugh.
Sure.
And so we teach them how to do that with breathing exercises. And then we just start doing the exercises. We'll do probably 2 or 3 exercises at a time, take a break, do a little breathing. Then Laura will do some of the exercises and I would switch off. And we just, before you know it, 20, 30 minutes have gone by and people are feeling great.
And
It's
that's
just
how
so
long
much
a
fun.
session is, 20 to 30
20
minutes?
30 minutes
Okay.
tops. Then we usually have a Q&A afterwards, another 15, 20 minutes. And
Yeah. It's usually when the psychologists are on break.
Taking their lunch,
we can
whatever.
teach them a few things.
Well, and Laura, how long are your yoga laughter sessions? Are they also about the same?
Yeah, it's 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Basically different types of breathing through the regular certified laughter leader as opposed to the certified laughter yoga leader. Is some of the breathing exercises are a little different, basically.
Nice.
Some of the laughter exercise, but it's the same thing. It's
Wow.
You can make up any
you can make
scenario in your mind.
Like the last one I had happened to fall on May 5th, so Cinco de Mayo. So I did exercise. I just made them up myself, So,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you're creative to do that. I have to go with someone has to teach me something, and I'm going to run with that.
Well, after you learn the basics, then you get the idea.
Okay, good.
We're getting close. That hour's going fast. I wanted to talk about your ministry.
Okay.
If you could tell us about that some, please.
Okay. I'm a minister of religious science with New Thought Principles. So that is there's no dogma or doctrine, but it's the basic idea that there's one universal intelligence, call it God if you like, one basic energy, and that flows through all of us because we are spiritual beings. Divine thought is a force for good, and the highest principle is loving each other unconditionally. So I founded the Fairfield Spiritual Center. Kent, if you want to pop that up. I founded the Fairfield Spiritual Center, and there's a website, fairfieldspiritualcenter.org, O-R-G, and you can look at the past services tabs if you want to see different services that we've had. It's also on Facebook, Fairfield Spiritual Center on Facebook page. And I've given some just individual talks that I have posted up on YouTube at Fairfield Spiritual Center channel on YouTube. This year, we've kind of focused on having guest speakers of different religions so that we could honor the diversity and acknowledge the oneness in everything. I've also am just starting up on May 18th, what is called the Power of Eight Intentional Prayer Group. It's based on Lynn McTaggart's best-selling book, The Power of Eight, so that hopefully to help people, could be with healing issues, relationship issues, jobs, anything like that. So if anyone is interested in being part of that, please watch the last service that I gave. I will give you more information, or maybe you've read her book. And you can email me through my website at fairfieldspiritualcenter.org. And we'll be starting that on May 18th. So something else I feel very passionate about. I want to help people in as many different ways that I can.
Well, you're obviously doing that.
I hope so.
You've helped all of us today. You've made our day better already.
Absolutely. I do feel uplifted, and let's hit the day. I'm ready. I got my.
Laura, I tell people, you've heard me say it to people that, a lot of mornings I wake up and my hands are swollen and I'm just aching and hurting and tired from not sleeping. And I'll sit on the edge of that bed and just go, he, ha, 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 ho, ho, ho. And just the thought of the irony of me trying to laugh through all that pain gets me to laughing. And all of a sudden my pain's not so bad now. Now I can manage it and get up and get going. And just something is, I have to, like we said, the brain doesn't know the difference between me faking the laughter or actually laughing. It starts kicking and doing what you're supposed to do when you laugh. And so just because you don't feel like laughing, I always tell people, just because I might wake up not feeling like laughing doesn't mean I can't make other people laugh today.
Right.
And in those days when I go out and I put that nose on and I'll sit at an intersection and look over at somebody like that. And they look back at us. And they like, Ken said, they look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you? Then they start cracking up.
I do want to mention, if you don't mind, I do want to mention the new CD. Ken, thank you for that site. Can we go to the Goldman-Weinberg.com site again, where we had the books before, and go to the first page with the songs. There's a new CD that just came out this year, Love is the Light. And stay with us just a few more minutes. We'll be playing one of the songs.
We are. So we're going to close the show with it.
But the physical CD is only available on Amazon for one more month. June 1st, they will stop making the physical CDs, but it will be available still MP3 and digital and everything. And let's see if Ken can bring that site up.
I think creativity one.
We had it here a minute ago. So
the other one.
I told you I'm a husband. You may have to tell me 3 times.
Yeah, okay. the other one, inspirational, spirituals.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, see, I told you.
Laura Goldman-Weinberg.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
If you folks don't already have a red nose, get yourself one, because it's very easy to sit there when you're. I like to wear it when I'm doing bills.
Well,
Because it's hard to get
true.
mad at that
That's
bill
true.
when you're looking down a red nose. You know?
Well, I still can be mad at it, but it's my indirect way of saying
Yes.
naughty things to the bill.
Well, I think it says inspirational spiritual music on Laura Goldman-Weinberg.
Laura Goldman, easy for me to say. LauraGoldmanWeinberg.com. All no spaces.
Nope.
That's where you can find her books and her writings.
And the music.
And the music. I did not write that. Thank you.
You had it up
And
before.
her art
Yeah,
is just
it
at
was-
LauraWeinberg.com. And if you want to get some classes or a workshop for breathing and meditation, she mentioned artofliving.org. And if you want to see one of her her laughter exercises that she does, she's got that on YouTube with Laughter with Laura. And then as the last thing she just talked about was for her non-denominational spiritual
Center.
Spiritual center. Yeah.
And that's fairfieldspiritualcenter.org.
Okay, so now we have on the screen for those that are able to see. Thank you so much, Kent. Love is the Light is the new CD with uplifting and inspirational songs. And I also have an album out called Sing Praises, Non-Denominational Hymns. So just wanted to let you know about that. So if you were interested, the titles of the songs are there on the website at lauragoldmanweinberg.com. And it's all on Amazon and iTunes and Spotify and various other music streaming platforms.
And as you said earlier, the art that's on top on the covers of that's your art.
Correct. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. They're actually both tissue paper collage on those particular ones.
Another thing I don't know about, I'm going to have to look into.
Laura, you're just a volcano of creativity.
Yes.
We're going to play that song in just a minute here. We're pulling it up.
And it's called Hold Tight to Your Dreams. I chose this one particularly for all of you listeners and viewers. This is a special message that I want you to really hear. And my dear friend Denise Richardson sings it. She sings all my songs.
Well, just to clarify now, that's not the Denise Richardson that we know of as the actress, is it?
No.
Just the same name, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd ask.
Good clarification.
Before we go to the song, I just wanted to thank all of our listeners again today for joining us. Kent for being our producer and helping us today. And Robbie for being our co-host and really leading the show today with you, Laura, since you two know each other so much better than I knew you. But I'm so glad I got to know you because you've taught me so much and really uplifted me for today. I appreciate that. So as we close this, we just want to invite you back next week because we are not done yet. And here's her song, Love is the Light. Thank you, Laura, for being here.
Yeah. The song is Hold Tight to Your Dreams on the album Love is the Light. Thank you all for having me. Thank you so much. What a pleasure. It's been a joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
As we're growing up, we're often told what's best. To face reality along with all the rest. But that's not the way, for your life needs to express your own true inner self, and that will bring you happiness. So hold tight to your dreams. They might just come true if you believe enough. Then you can watch them bloom. Remember those desires that come from within. They are your precious gifts. It's where you must begin. So don't let anyone Your heart will let you know just what is right for you. Hold tight to your dreams. They might just come true if you believe enough. Then you can watch them bloom. So have your wishes and hopes tucked in a special place. Keep them close at hand, wrapped in your embrace. For soon will come a time when you'll need to let them go. Then open up your heart and watch those dreams flow. Hold tight to your dreams. They might just come true if you believe enough. Then you can watch them bloom for you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You sure
So
picked a good
everybody,
singer.
hold tight to your dreams. You're not done yet.
That's right.
Thank you, Laura.
Go for it.
We'll talk soon.